of the crop. Nobody does it better.
Hey, but you are so money and you don't even know it.
I understood that reference.
Morning, Mr. Hammond.
Your mission,
should you accept it, steal, destroy, shadow, disappear.
assemble the team.
And here we go.
Hello there. Welcome to Freewheeling Fridays here, part of the Madness Entertainment Group. I am your host, Ryan of Book Channel. And ladies and gentlemen, the rumors are true. The internet's probably going to break when I say this, but this is, in fact, the very last episode of Freewheeling Fridays, hosted by yours truly, Ryan of Book Channel. I have decided to pass the torch on to somebody else. It's going to be their time to shine. And I'm going to focus more on my reading, focus more on my writing. Hopefully, I'll get an anthology of short stories out by the end of the year of 2026, if not the beginning of 2027. Hopefully, we'll have to see where the chips fall where they may. But hey, enough about me. This is not about me. This may be and let me put it to you this way, folks. This isn't goodbye. It's just see you later. I will be appearing on other pieces of programming, just not as much as I used to, because, like I said, I got other things I want to focus on. And in the words of our good friend Superman once said, I'm always around. Please welcome my final guest for the final episode, at least for me anyway, of Freewheeling Fridays, indie writer extraordinaire and the president and CEO of the Jaws fan club himself from down in Georgia. Bobby Nash is here. Hello, good sir. How are you? And not to be confused with the fictional character that was killed off on 911.
Yes, although I am constantly, people think I'm him. I still get tagged in social media posts where they think, when people are talking about the show, that think that my social media, especially Twitter or Instagram tags, is the character. So yes, I am constantly getting like all kinds of tags and things. I'm like, I don't understand what you're talking about.
I know it's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. What isn't cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs is how incredible this episode of Freewheeling Friday is going to be. So do not forget to like and share. If you're watching us live on a replay, thank you for doing so. If you have any questions for the guest of honor known as Bobby Nash, because Lord knows it's not about me, let us know in the comments. Let us know in the chat. More than happy to take those as they come in respectively. So for someone who maybe just be tuning in, this is your first time here, first time at the Madness Entertainment Group, maybe it's your first time watching Freewheeling Fridays, Bobby Nash, not the fictional character, but the real person such as yourself. Sorry, I can't help it. Tell us about yourself. Who are you?
I am a writer. I write all kinds of stuff. I write novels, comics, audio dramas, a few screenplays here and there. I do all art, and yeah, I just love to get out and be creative. I do a little acting on the side, but primarily I write novels and comics. Like I said, the Snow series, the Sheriff Myers series, among others. That's what I do. I spend all my day making stuff up.
Spend all our days making stuff up. It's fantastic.
Yes.
Pops is saying, "Hey Yoda, what's up, Pops? Good to see you in the
Pops.
chat, my friend." Yeah, he's a good man. He's also very busy because what do? You produce like 70,000 shows a week, Pops? I don't know how you do it. All the way from the West Coast, because he just recently moved out to, what is it, Arizona, I think it is? So you're like 2 hours behind us now. By the way, Pops, you're living in the past, man. Wake up. Live in the future like the rest of us on the East Coast. Anyway.
Welcome to the future.
And yeah, there's a line for you. So, gee whiz. You know, speaking of which, talking about your writings here, something that just came out recently. Let's talk about this. It's not the elephant in the room. It's more like the great new novel in the room. Nowhere to Run just came out, and I'm curious, for someone who's never heard of this before, what exactly is Nowhere to Run, and how did this come about for you?
Well, I'll start with, I do this a lot with some of my novels where secondary or lesser, not the main characters. I won't say lesser, but not the main characters take over. Or they say, I want my own story, damn it, that kind of thing. Happened with Sheriff Myers, who appeared in Evil Ways, eventually gets his own series. Deputy U.S. Marshal William Teague, who is the main character of Nowhere to Run, started out in Evil Intent, then showed up in a Sheriff Myers novel. Now he has his own book. It is an adventure thriller. I am a big fan of man versus nature stories. I love them. I love reading them. I love watching movies where the people are out in the elements trying to survive against, Mother Nature or whatever. And so I put that together with my love of writing crime thrillers. And so the premise of it is Deputy U.S. Marshal William Teague is part of a task force that has captured Cyrus Drake, who is a known hijacker. They have captured him, and the FBI takes over, to do the interrogation, and they put him they transfer him to the prison on an airplane, which is, William Teague has seen Passenger 57. He knows that's a bad idea. But they ignore him, and the plane crashes as Drake and his associates try to break him free of custody. So the plane crashes, and Teague and a local guide have to go up the mountain to not only try to rescue and take care of any survivors, but to make sure the bad guy doesn't get away. But there's also a ticking clock on it because there's a massive storm rolling in, and if they don't, get out before it hits, they're going to be stuck on the top of the mountain and have to weather the storm. So it's very action and thrillery type storytelling, which I love. So big fun.
Well, congrats on that. That's fantastic.
Thank you. It's been pretty well received. We did the Kickstarter.
Yes. Congrats on that. That was awesome.
It's kind of I like using Kickstarter for stuff like this. It's kind of a pre-order thing, a pre-order with extras. You get some swag. And we had a successful Kickstarter, which, launched it, and then we put it out in the world, and so far so good.
Well, that's good. That's always a positive. Yeah. So this cover kind of reminds me of a movie. I recently saw this movie not too long ago for the very first time. Because a friend of mine who's an indie author, Alyssa Hazel, said if you really want a good movie, you got to check out The Edge with Anthony Hopkins and Alec Baldwin. So
The Edge
I
is
sat
awesome.
down and I watched it because it was streaming somewhere where I could watch it for free. And I got to be honest with you, it's a very different kind of movie than what I'm used to, because there's a lot of philosophical stuff that is said by Anthony Hopkins' character. He's talking about survival. He's talking about humanity. He's talking about where do we go from here? How do we get out of this? And the people because there are other survivors during this wreck. They're in a plane crash. They're trying to survive. It's him, Alec Baldwin, and another gentleman. I forget the actor's name, but the three of them, like the other two guys, are scared.
Oh, it's Harold Perrineau.
Harold Perrineau, yeah, from Lost.
Yes,
From Lost. Yeah. Malcolm, I think it was Malcolm from Lost. Yeah. So those two are scared out of their minds, but surprisingly, Anthony Hopkins is very calm about it. He's like, hey, we may have crashed. We may be out in the wilderness. We're in the middle of nowhere. We're not quite sure where we are, but we're going to figure it out. We're going to be fine. As long as we have a plan and we execute the plan, we're going to be fine. Just don't worry about it. But they're like, but we're in the middle of nowhere. How can you be so sure? And he just spits out these lines. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, it's like, did you ever hear the story about the guy in the bear or whatever? And I'm just like, what? And Alec Baldwin was like,
because he was,
why are you telling us a bedtime story when we're trying to figure out where the heck we are, man?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I'm getting to that. So The Edge is a man against nature movie, but there's also a bit of a subplot.
Chased by a bear.
Being chased by a bear, exactly.
Yes.
So,
well, I'll give you another one that's kind of in the same, a similar genre.
I thought it was a good movie. Yeah.
Oh, it's an excellent movie.
Yeah,
There's a movie called Shoot to Kill with Sidney Poitier and Tom Berenger.
Okay.
And Kirstie Alley.
Oh my gosh, Kirstie Alley's in this?
Yes, one of her earliest movies.
No way. Okay.
She is a nature guide. She takes people on hikes up into the mountains, and she takes like this group. And Tom Berenger is her boyfriend. Sidney Poitier is a cop. They are chasing. He is chasing. I think he might be FBI. But anyways, he's chasing a killer, and the killer. They have discovered that the killer is one of the people in this hiking group, but they don't know who the killer is because we haven't seen the killer. So even we, the audience, don't know who the killer is. And so they team up together to go up the mountain to try to catch up to him and rescue her and catch the bad guy and all this. And one of the brilliant bits, because a lot of times when you watch a movie, you know how you can tell who the bad guy is because of the actor they cast. In this case, the filmmakers smartly, all of the members of the hiking group are all played by actors that always play bad guys.
Oh, great.
So you're like, wait, I don't know which one it is. And so then we follow and they're trying to figure that out. It's an excellent chase up through the mountains and all that stuff. It's an excellent movie. I love it.
And you said it's called Shoot to Kill.
Shoot to Kill. It is. I don't think it streams anywhere. You can probably find it on YouTube or a cheap DVD. I think I paid $4 for the DVD I bought.
Yeah, I gotta find this. I'll tell you what.
So, that's a fun one.
I'll tell you what. If it's not streaming anywhere, I'll get it off of the Zon. I'll get it off of Amazon. Get it on DVD, whatever. Because Lord knows when a certain birthday comes up, I'm going to go ape shit and buy a whole bunch of books on Amazon, especially indie author books. Because as we all know, for those of you who don't have a direct storefront, you buy it through Amazon. So I'm going to be buying a number of different books that my friends who have recommended to me in the last several months on Amazon, but I'll add Shoot to Kill to that list because the fact that Kirstie Alley is in this, I'm like, okay, now you really got me curious. I mean, Cindy, don't get me wrong. Tom Berenger, Cindy Poitier had nothing to sneeze at, but Kirstie Alley in one of her earliest roles, I'm like, ooh, okay. So one of her earliest roles was Wrath of Khan, but I want to see what this was.
Yeah, that was her first movie. Was Wrath of Khan.
That was her first. So. Yeah, that was like early day. Yeah.
So this was either number 2 or number 3.
Yeah, it was right after Wrath of Khan. It was years after that. Yeah. So yeah, you got me curious, brother. So
I enjoy it. It's a fun movie. And a lot of that is the actors involved. I mean, the story is pretty simple, but the actors involved, it's just a fun chase movie. And yeah, I dig it. But yeah, I love those type of movies. There's several of them with people being, chased by bears or whatever wild animal we run across. We see those kind of movies a lot. Certainly in the streaming age, and then before that in the direct to DVD days. Those type of movies. I mean, how many shark movies are there? How many
shark movies are there now?
Yeah, bear movies and
thousands.
So there's a lot of fun to be had with that, being out in nature and running through your life through the forest.
Or, I mean, this is a little bit in the similar vein, but a little bit off the beaten path as well. A man against nature movie like Vertical Limit.
I love Vertical Limit. Yes.
Chris O'Donnell, Robin Tunney, Scott Glenn being Scott Glenn, the gruff, and Bill Paxton, R.I.P. to Bill Paxton, by the way. But yeah, no, Vertical Limit is a great man against nature. Yeah. And it's the same guy who made Mask of Zorro. Bobby and I,
yes,
our all-time favorite movies.
Martin he also directed a couple of Bond movies.
GoldenEye, Casino Royale, baby.
GoldenEye,
and I will let you know. I'm going to let you in on this. Later this year, I think it's late November, I think it is, Case. We're going to be celebrating the 20-year anniversary of Casino Royale with Daniel Craig.
Nice.
Turns 20 this year, brother. So we got to celebrate.
Old.
I'm sorry. And Pops, I know how you feel because Pops is like 750 years old. By the way, Pops just corrected me in the chat. He said I didn't move to Arizona. I specifically moved to New Mexico.
New Mexico.
Sorry. New Mexico, Arizona, they're kind of close to each other, right? Aren't they kind of like almost next door neighbors?
Yeah.
Sorry, Pops.
My At the Earth's Core creative partner, Jamie Chase, lives out in New Mexico. He painted the At the Earth's Core graphic novel that I worked on. Yeah.
No kidding.
Yep.
Well, that's interesting.
They will probably run into each other at events or something.
Probably. Pops, you familiar with this gentleman? If not, get familiar with him soon. Once again, this is Freewheeling Fridays. Don't forget to like and share. If you have any questions for our sanity or movie taste, because Lord knows Bobby and I have a lot of good taste in movies. Let us know in the comments. Let us know in the chat. I'm sorry, I can't help it.
We could do the whole episode just talking about these kind of movies we've been talking.
Or different characters, I guess. I don't know, because backstage, Bobby and I were talking about the fact that this year marks the 50th anniversary of two very iconic movies. One of them is The Outlaw Josie Wales with Clint Eastwood and company, and then the other one just happens to be an inspirational sports movie called Rocky. That turns 50. And by the way, did you know that the memoirs of Sylvester Stallone are going to drop this year in celebration of that, called The Steps? I take it you're going to pick up a copy of his memoir?
Probably, possibly, maybe.
Talking about the steps, those iconic Rocky steps.
I do love that movie. I am also, in addition to the man versus nature, I am a sucker for a movie about people chasing their dreams.
Oh.
And Rocky certainly
is one of them
into that category of people, what they're going through or the battles they're going through to make whatever dream they have happen. I'm a sucker for those kind of movies. Because there's always a lot of heartbreak and stumbling blocks and all this, but most of the time they have some kind of a happy ending. And I just, and I can relate to it. And I'm sure you can as well, because what we're doing, we spend our days, struggling to get our writing career going or whatever career we're working on. So I just find those inspiring, and I love those type of movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, Rocky turns 50. But how do you feel about the outlaw? How do you feel about the outlaw Josie Wales turning 50 with Clint Eastwood?
I like the Outlaw. Yes, I've. It's been a while since I've seen it. I know you guys just did the rewatch. I'm going to have to catch the repeat. Go
check
on
that out,
one.
man. It was fun.
But I do love Eastwood's westerns. For me, I'm a big fan of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Oh yeah.
And of course, later Unforgiven, I think is just a beautiful movie.
Oh.
But of the three, Man with No Name, it was always the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly that stands out. But I enjoyed, Outlaw Josie Wales. I think Clint Eastwood has a wonderful portrayal of these type of guys. But I enjoy a lot of Clint Eastwood's movies. And so getting to see, him play those characters. I mean, even Dirty Harry, I loved all that stuff. And I think of his modern stuff, Gran Torino is just excellent movie. And so, yes. And I got to watch him work. I was an extra on The Mule and
I saw that. That was a good movie. Depressing though, but it was a good movie.
My car is in it. I am not.
Oh, you're physically not in it, but your car is. Okay.
Right. I was there. So I got to watch him work, and we're at the, I don't know how much you remember the movie. There's a big scene at the hotel where he's staying. And then, I just blanked on it. I just blanked. Bradley Cooper fights the big guy. So I was there for that. I got to watch that happen.
No kidding.
And so, so I did get to meet Mr. Eastwood. It was a brief conversation. It wasn't even a conversation. We passed each other in the parking lot. I said, "How you doing, Mr. Eastwood?" He goes, and kept going. That was my interaction. But I did get to watch him work, which was fascinating because, there's been a lot of stories about how he directs, and he's not as, like you see a lot of the times when you see like portrayals of directors, there's action and they're yelling and all this. And he just kind of walks up and goes, "Okay, you guys know what you're doing? Great, go ahead." He goes over there and sits down.
Right.
And and lets them do their thing. And his crew, he's worked with them for decades. So he doesn't set the cameras up. He's got a guy that does that. He trusts that guy. And so he goes up, he talks to the actor, says, "Here's, the script. Here's this. What do you think about doing it this way? Something you want to try? Great. Okay, let's do it." And he walks away. And it's fascinating, that amount of trust. Because I've been on sets too where the opposite's true, where it's like, no, this,
you got to do it this way.
Right. Yeah. But he has engendered such a trust in his actors that he lets them try something. And, the role, do it, And so it's fascinating. And I got to kind of watch some of that. I got to watch the fight scene, which was fun, and watch how they set stuff up. And like I said, most of the time they didn't use any of us, but my car is in the parking lot of them. So yeah, but
that's great.
Yeah. So
your set of four wheels gets to be a star of a movie for 2 seconds.
Right, yeah.
No, that's cool. You got a chance to watch him work, because he's been in the business for so long, and he announced his retirement earlier this year from the business. He's done. He's done. And we were actually discussing this on our watch along of Josie Wales. He's directed 40 movies.
Oh, yeah.
50 years.
Yeah.
Over 50 years. Over 50 years of directing. He has made 40 movies. Not many directors in this business can say, "I've directed 40 movies." I mean, Spielberg has directed 35, but Austin and I were talking about this too. We're not quite sure he's going to reach 40 like Eastwood did, because Spielberg is already in his 80s. So he can't really keep up with these young bucks anymore.
You also have to realize that Eastwood also acted,
which is another
not all 40 of them. I think there's a couple he directed that he's not in.
Mystic River, he wasn't in.
Yeah, and then what's the Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil?
Midnight Garden of Good and Evil.
He wasn't in it.
He was never in it.
So I know, but he is acting also in most of these. Not only just act, he is the star.
Yeah, he's double dipping those chips. He's triple dipping the chip.
But that's where having that crew that he depends on, and he's worked with for so long. There's a lot of trust where he can focus on this part. He's got a guy focused on these various things. And so, but and the vast majority of those 40 movies are movies that people love. They're in a lot of people's top 10, top 20 lists.
Oh yeah, the lexicon.
So he has done, and because he's done so much stuff, it depends on what
genre you're looking at.
Yeah,
because he's directed so many different films in different genres. I mean, Play Misty for me, was a star.
That's a good thriller. Good thriller.
The one with the gorilla, I can't remember the monkey.
Oh, Any Which Way But Loose.
Any Which Way But Loose. Yeah,
and Any Which Way You Can was the sequel. Yeah.
Thank you for telling me that. I didn't know there was a sequel, but yes,
Right Turn Clyde. That was a big. I was a big one when I was a kid.
Yeah, so he directs something like that, and then he can go back to the western, and then he can do a what do you call it, a romantic drama, which is the one with.
He did the Bridges of Mount. He did the Bridges of Madison County.
I'm forgetting, but Bridges of Madison County.
But then he's done a couple of sci-fi movies. He did Firefox.
Oh, I never saw it.
And which is about a supersonic sci-fi plane, and he did Space.
But I never.
And he did Space Cowboys.
Oh, that's right. Well, you get
it. I love Space Cowboys. Yeah,
James Garner, Tommy Lee Jones.
Donald Sutherland.
The Donald Sutherland.
That is a fun. I love that movie. It's just a fun movie. But he's able to do, and of course, Dirty Harry. He's got the cop dramas, the action. Or the Iger sanction, or all that kind of stuff, and so it's.
I mean, he's done it.
It's a hell of a career.
It's a hell of a run, for sure. Over 40 films and over 50 years of his life. Good Lord. But yeah, congrats on your retirement, man. You more than earned it. With all the Oscars, because he's what you got on your mantle.
Because he's what 92, I think, or
93. I want to say maybe 94.
Yeah, so
I mean, he's up there. There's no doubt. Yeah, he needs a break.
But then again, some of these folks, I think working keeps them young. Because if you think about it, look at Dick Van Dyke has hit 100. He is still out there going as strong as ever. He just won a daytime Emmy for being on a soap opera at 100 years old.
Oh, Betty White, right. He did turn over 100. Yeah.
Yeah, Betty White just almost made it at 99. She was still working right up till the end.
This close.
William Shatner's what, 94?
Yeah,
I mean, there's several of these folks that are.
That's amazing that he's still. I mean, 94 is a heck of a run, man.
And and they're still out doing.
Well, I don't know if Shatner's doing too many TV movie appearances, but he's definitely
he's
doing
in
the
cons.
Conventions.
Yeah, he does the cons, but he just put out an album, or is about to put out an album.
Oh, jeez.
He does all these documentaries and stuff. So I mean, he's still, And
hey,
as a guy that does cons. They're exhausting.
Yes, but you're still young, aren't you?
Yes.
You got another
youngish.
Youngish. I think Bobby has another 60 years left in him. But anyway, maybe not that long. But we are here for Freewheeling Fridays. Don't forget to like and share if you have any questions about our age or non-existent age, because we all tell ourselves we're X amount of years and so on and so forth. Let us know in the comments. Let us know in the chat. Good Lord. But yeah, Rocky and Josie Wales, among others, turned 50 this year. I think that's pretty fascinating. Yeah, because next week, just to give everyone a heads up here, to round out the month of August, we're going to end our summer blockbuster season with the 25th anniversary of The Mummy Returns with Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz, because I don't know if anyone heard the news or not, they are making a new Mummy movie with the original cast coming back, including the actor who portrayed Benny, who got killed off in the first one. Is he going to be the new Mummy? Probably. I don't know what they're going to do with that. I just want him to say, it looks like I got all the horses. And then I just want Fraser to look dead into the camera and say, hey, Benny, looks to me like you're on the wrong side of the river. Which he says in the first one, right? Yep. So, if they drop that little Easter egg from the original there, Bobby, I think that might be a good day at the office for Brendan Fraser and I forget the actor's name who plays Benny, but whatever. Yeah.
I am very excited for that movie. I love the original ones.
The 99, yeah.
And fun stuff. So I'm very excited to
to see. And Odette Fair's coming back too as Ardith Bay. Remember him? He's coming back. But he
Big
doesn't
fan
have
of
the
his.
but he doesn't have the black hair anymore. He's a silver fox. He's
Well,
got all
let's
the white
face
hair.
it. Let's face it. It's been
It's been almost 30 years.
almost
so,
30
you know,
years. So
yeah.
I like him. He does a few shows that
Star
yeah.
Trek Discovery.
Yeah, he was on Star Trek Discovery and the Starfleet Academy.
Oh, he was on Starfleet Academy.
He was a regular on a show that I loved a number of years back called Covert Affairs.
Yes, I love that show.
Yes,
Piper
where he played an
Perabo
Israeli.
is my girl. That is my
Yeah.
one of my Hollywood crushes. But
Yeah.
Piper Perabo, I mean, she grew up right before our very eyes. Remember what she did back in the day? One of the first movies she ever did was Coyote Ugly.
Mm-hmm.
She was the lead in that, by the way.
Yep.
And then, do you remember? I'm trying to think of the other one. She did the live action / CGI animation hybrid of the Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Oh, I didn't know that one.
She played the agent that was helping Rocky and Bullwinkle defeat Jason Alexander, Rene
Oh,
Russo.
okay.
Yeah, it was hilarious. It wasn't, it probably doesn't hold up today because, as we all know, CGI hybrid animated to live action doesn't really work well. But at that time, Piper Perabo was still new to the business, so she was, up and coming. She was still beautiful in that. She had to wear a very professional pantsuit, but whatever. Piper, honey, baby, you look hot as ever. And then she did Covert Affairs for, what was it, like 5 seasons? I think
No, it's like seven.
7 seasons. Yeah, it lasted a bit. So,
and I loved it.
He played the former Mossad agent Oded Fair. Yeah. And then he says, "What's next, Moshema?" And I'm like,
Yeah. And then she went on to do. She was on Yellowstone when it was on.
Oh, Piper Perabo was on Yellowstone?
Yeah. Her husband is a director and one of the producers on that.
Get out of here. I didn't know that. What's the guy's name? What's his name? Do you remember the
God.
What's his name? Does anybody remember
Stephen
his name?
Stephen K.
Stephen K.
Yes.
K-A-Y. I did not know that.
That's her husband, and he directed most of the episodes of the show and was a producer. And so she has a role across multiple seasons, 2 or 3 seasons, I think. Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow, I miss her because I haven't seen Piper Perabo in so long. Piper, give me a call, will you? No, she's great, man. She's great. I mean, listen, people can say what they want about Coyote Ugly and being, it's a certain movie, certain genre, whatever. But it's about
just a
someone
fun movie.
But here's the thing. It's a girl going after her dreams, okay? And you were saying this earlier. You like movies about people who go after their dreams.
Absolutely.
And this is about Piper Perbo's character, Jersey. Violet is a real name, but they call her Jersey in the bar. And it's about her becoming a singer.
Yep. And not only is it her chasing her dreams, but even Maria Bello's character, whose name I forget at the moment.
Yeah, but she's the owner of the bar.
As the owner of the bar, she's chasing the dream of keeping her bar going and all this stuff. It's a fantastic character exploration type stuff, and it's fun. It's a fun movie.
John Goodman's in it.
Yeah.
So, as the dad.
Yep. And so I dig those type of stories. Those are fun. Those are, inspiring. It gives you someone to root for, and you want them to succeed. And
good soundtrack too. Yeah.
But if you're into like the action and like a good spy show, I highly recommend Covert Affairs, which I want to say is on Peacock right now. But don't quote me on that.
I think it is.
But because it was a USA show, and I think most of the USA stuff is
USA
on
Network
Peacock.
show. Yeah. We remember USA Characters Welcome.
Characters Welcome.
Those days.
That was such a beautiful era because not only did we have Covert Affairs, but at the same time we had Burn Notice, Monk,
Suits,
Psych,
Royal Graceland,
Pains.
White Collar.
Yeah, loved White Collar. So,
who doesn't like White Collar? Come on.
It was just a fantastic era.
Graceland,
and unfortunately, USA doesn't do that as much, although they have gotten started back into doing scripted shows. There's a new one on called Anna Pigeon. It's only a couple of episodes. Actually, it was on tonight.
What's it about?
It's about a park ranger. It's based on a series of novels.
Oh,
and so tonight episode 3 aired. So I haven't watched it yet, but
you're gonna watch it later,
probably tomorrow.
Tomorrow when I'm more awake. Yeah.
Yes, but it's really good. I'm enjoying that. It's a nice like crime thriller thing, but it's about a park ranger and stuff's going on out in the park, and there's some odds. It's a crime show. So I enjoyed that, but it's I dig me a good crime show, as you know.
Well,
I write that, but I love that genre, which is
speaking of
probably why I write it.
yeah, speaking of crime shows, I hear there's a small town crime drama on right now with Kyle Chandler called Lanterns.
Mm-hmm.
Just dropped, and that's about how Jordan passing the torch on to John Stewart. But the fact is, they're actually investigating a small town murder in the middle of nowhere. And I'm thinking, okay, this is an odd way to set up a DC universe show, but at the same time, it's different, it's unique, and you got Kyle Chandler leading the charge, aka Coach Eric Taylor for Friday Night Lights, as an old, down on his luck, grizzled Hal Jordan who just doesn't give an F about what's going on. But Aaron Pierre is like, well, wait a minute, something else is going on here. We need to investigate, man. What the hell is going on? So I've heard things about it from all sides of the spectrum here. I have yet to see it because I don't want to I don't.
Then I will be careful of spoilers because
I'd be careful.
I dug it.
Yeah.
It's a little different than
very
Hal
different
Jordan
from what I've been
comic.
told. It's very different.
But Hal's gone through many things in the comics.
Yeah, he's been through a lot of shit.
This is him as older is not new.
Nah, we've seen it before.
The kind of grizzled, grumpy guy is kind of new, but for him, but it was a good episode. It's like a crime thriller with superheroes.
Just happens to have superheroes in it.
Yeah.
And
they are space cops.
They
are investigating a space-based crime or an alien crime.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really good. Both the lead actors are really good.
Yeah.
I understand Nathan Fillion's supposed to show up in
Guy Gardner, I believe,
down as Guy Gardner. I guess Guy Gardner is kind of going to be the linchpin of the new DCU,
right?
Kind of like what Amanda Waller was before, that kind of tied them all together
with the other shows, which is fine.
And then
you'll be busy,
but the show's fun. It's only one episode's aired,
so it's too soon to tell.
Yeah, and I think there's 8 episodes in the season, so it'll be over pretty quick. But
no, geez, that'll be here, and then
but I dug it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, there's a lot of new stuff out right now. Spider-Man Brand New Day just dropped, aka your favorite character of all time. Had a brand new movie come out, which, by the way, it crossed over $1 billion in a record-breaking 7 days.
Yeah.
It's getting all kinds of rave reviews. The stars are making moolah out of their rear ends.
And I tell you what, the three leads too, because they were doing press for the Odyssey, because all 3 of them are in it, and they go straight into press for Spider-Man. So it's like the 3 of them are like traveling the world.
They must be exhausted, super exhausted. And the Odyssey just became the highest grossing R-rated movie of all time.
Yeah, I have not yet seen the Odyssey. I've still haven't get around to that, but I did really loved Brand New Day. It is my favorite of the Tom Holland Spider-Man so far.
Of this era. Okay, gotcha. Mm-hmm.
Of the Tom Holland ones,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. The current era of Spider-Man. This is the all-time favorite for you, which is
for me.
By the way,
me.
A lot of people have said that.
Yeah.
A lot of people have gone on record by saying, "I think this is the best one out of all the."
I also think it's the best suit he's worn.
Oh, the best suit
because it looks like Spider-Man's suit. It doesn't look like an Iron Man.
Out of the comics,
right. It's not an
Iron Man gave it to him,
right. It's not an Iron Man suit with and so I dug it. I thought it was a great movie. It was fantastic. So, and Spider-Man was kind of my introduction to superheroes and comics, and I discovered Spider-Man with reruns of the 1960s cartoon.
Yes.
When I would come home from school, they would do 2 episodes in the afternoon that I could watch while I was having my after school snack before my mom kicked me outside to play.
Oh my Lord.
And so being an only child at that point, because my brother hadn't come along yet, I would go out in the backyard and play what I had seen on TV. And so my mother used to love telling stories. But he's a weird kid. He goes around the backyard going, psh, 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 psh. And so, but that was my introduction to us, not only superheroes, but I discovered we were in the checkout aisle of a department store, and they used to bag comics in 3-packs.
Oh yeah.
and there was 2 Spider-Mans, and I didn't even know they made Spider-Man comic books. I'd never read a comic book before, and I begged and pleaded. My mom bought them, and there were 3 Spider-Man issues in there, and I was hooked. I was hooked on comics. The sad part is the 3rd issue ends in a cliffhanger that I didn't get to read the next issue for 20 years.
Oh wow, that's rough. That is super rough.
Yeah, but yeah, it was fun. I discovered Spider-Man, and then of course in the 70s and 80s we had more Spider-Man cartoons, his Amazing Friends and all that stuff. And so Spider-Man I was hooked. And we had I know you're too young to remember it, but in the 70s we had a short-lived live action show in the 70s.
Nicholas Hammond, if I remember correctly.
Yes, Nicholas Hammond. And as silly as the stories were, because it had the same problem a lot of the superheroes. There's no super villains, It was him fighting ninjas and him fighting mobsters and that kind of stuff. But what really stands out today in my memory is they actually had the stuntman with a camera mounted on his head was really on top of buildings, jumping and leaping and climbing buildings. And we got to see all of that. And there's that made it feel real enough, because Spider-Man was really on a roof. He was really looking over the edge of the building. He was really climbing up and down the side of buildings. I'm sure he was on wires and all that stuff, but it was cool. It was just cool to see Spider-Man come to life.
Oh, certainly was. And every time I post something of Bobby's that has a little bit of a Spider-Man edge to it, I always make sure to reshare his posts on Instagram specifically. And every time I repost something that Bobby posted, I make sure to include the Spider-Man 67 theme song. I don't know if you've noticed that in the posts I've been putting you in, or the ones I've been sharing from your account, but every time I share something that has a little bit of Spider-Man in it, I'm like, well, you got to play the original.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man, there goes the Spider-Man. Spins a web any size, Yeah.
When I do sketches of Spider-Man at any event or Free Comic Book Day or whatever, when I'm sketching, especially for kids, I always have him say "walloping web snappers," which is from that show.
I'm so glad you do that, because, and this is another fun fact between Bobby and I. Bobby posted the cover photo that says "walloping web snappers." It's word slinging time with Spider-Man waving to the camera from the 67 television series. I said, Bobby, can I borrow that? He's like, yeah, sure. So I took it, and now it's my cover. It literally has been my cover photo on Facebook for years now. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen that or not, but
I love that. It was fun. I've done that with a number of different visual. It's like
waving.
It's kind of like the humble brag. Hey, I worked today.
Yeah. And every time Bobby posts about how hard he's working, he's like, guys, I had a great day in the writing office. It was a lot of slinging of words and phrases and verbs and adverbs or whatever. But every time you post, it's word slinging time. I'm like, okay, it's time we got to get down to business.
Because the very first time I used that, I think I used an image of Ben Grimm, the Thing.
Oh, the Thing.
Because he always said it's clobbering time.
Yeah.
And I just replaced the clobbering with word slinging. And
that's right. You did that for a cover photo on Facebook, I think, at one
something
point.
Like that. Yeah.
I think you've done bookmarks of that.
Yeah. Well, it's fun to. You try to come up with different ways. Like
it's fun.
It's boring to go, hey, I worked today.
No, but it's fun.
So I can sling, and apparently, and I also know people are paying attention to my post, because I get numerous numbers of people coming up to me at events going, have you slung any words today? Or are you slinging words today? Or, so people are paying attention. So it's always good to know.
Yeah, very, very good point. And, I get to look at it every so often on my social media, and then I have this staring me in the face on my desk, right here in our studio.
Well, sometimes we need those affirmation type things to remind us, to motivate us, and things like that.
All these words.
Yes. And I have one over here. I don't know if you can see it, but
where is that? Do we see it?
One over here. It says, do more, focus. Actually, it says #focus.
Oh, focus. Yes.
And I don't have it now, but I used to have because I'm not against the wall right here anymore. But when I was up against the wall, I had a couple of comic strips tacked up there that were writer centric, and one of my favorites has a guy in like an old timey robe, and he's doing this, and he's looking at a rock, and he's looking at two like stone tablets, and it's Moses, and he's doing this, and there's a voice from on high that says, "No, I can't dumb it down any further." And then at the very bottom, it just goes, "Moses, the editor." And
Nice.
Yes. So those, when I find stuff like that, I used to tack it up. Now I just save them to the into a computer file.
Yeah. So you can bring up the image when you have to.
Yeah. There's one there's another favorite of mine. There's two guys sitting at a table.
Yeah.
At tables next to each other, like at a convention or a book signing or whatever. And there's one guy here with a stack of books on his table, and there's nobody in the line. And it said, the sign says, "Meet the author." And then there's a line of people to the next table with a sign that says, "Meet a guy that played a big part in the movie based on his book." And I always like that one, because sometimes those are the people that get more credit than the people that wrote the book. Because people fall in love with the characters. And so they start, because like even me, doing some of this background and some of the acting stuff I do, I'll go to do like a talk about writing and publishing, and people will start asking me questions about being on set. So it's, which is fun. I love being on set. I don't get to do it near often enough.
Yeah, I gotcha. Opportunity, only so many opportunities come.
I've only done a couple times this year so far. I'd love to do more, but yeah, I had a nice one. I can't wait to talk about it. Last month I did 3 days on a TV show that'll be out next year, so I'm excited. Yes.
Oh, look at you planning ahead, which is fantastic, by the way, here on Freewheeling Fridays. Don't forget to like and share. If you have any questions, let us know in those comments. Let us know in the chat. Thank you to everybody who has commented thus far. You've been on this 2026 tour. I forget the name. Let me tell you, it's not
Life in the Faster Lane. Life in the Faster Lane.
Life in the Faster. So how has Life in the Faster Lane 2026 gone for you thus far?
Slowly. I called it that for years ago. I wrote and drew a comic strip called Life in the Faster Lane, where I basically turned my family into cartoon characters. And I did it for 12 years for a kids magazine. And so I decided that this year I would get them all cleaned up and put together a collection, do some new strips, do a nice collection of the Life in the Faster Lane strips. So I said, I'll call the tour that, and it'll be a nice tie-in. I haven't got the book done yet. And now it's looking like I'm not going to get it out until next year. So next year may have to be Life in the Faster Lane Part 2.
Gotcha.
Or Life in the Fastest Lane. Maybe that's what I'll do. But yeah.
There you go.
But
I mean,
work just got away from me, so I didn't get the tie-in book. But I cut back a little on shows earlier in the year. Just to take, I did about 40 last year, and I said I need a break, and so I didn't do a whole lot the first 3 or 4 months of the year. But starting next week, I'm somewhere every weekend until middle of November. So
wow, okay, well,
because I'm an idiot.
Yeah, strap yourself in. It's going to be a bumpy ride. But what has been the response like at the events you have attended so far in the year of 2026? Has the response been really good for you? Have you sold more books this year than you did in 2025? Have things improved? The marketing has improved? Like, I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Like, how has your mindset or your skill set increased in 2026?
Yeah, the cons are and they're not just cons. I do all kinds of events, conventions, bookstores, libraries. I do book events in steakhouses. I've done book events in bars. I've done book events on the courthouse lawns in counties. So events, more so than cons. I really only do a small number of actual conventions. But those are the best opportunity for me to get the word out about books and to sell books is an in-person event. I have a better sales, especially with paper. selling hardcovers and soft covers and artwork. In person helps. Plus, I get to meet people and talk to people. So, first and foremost, I look at doing events as part of my promotional work. So, yes, we want to sell money. We want to sell books. We want to make money. Certainly, we want to pay for what it costs us to be there and all that. But if that doesn't happen, I still try to look at it and go, okay, it's fine. We still talked up books. Because a lot of times you'll see sales spikes a week later when somebody got paid again and they didn't have the money to buy it, something they wanted when you were there. So you see stuff like that, or somebody will email me next week and go, hey, I'd like to get some bookmarks. I didn't have any money to get them from you at the show. And so you're promoting. So you're looking at it as a promotional thing. You're there, you're talking up the books, you're just talking to people. I am not a hard sales kind of guy. People come up, I give the quick spiel about I wrote this stuff, I drew this stuff, let them look, we'll talk, we can do whatever. I'm not a good pushy salesman. So I try to keep it as just friendly and conversational and getting to know people and talking to people. And then you do panels and you do podcasts and interviews and things like that to just get people to know you. And then that actually helps with the selling of the books because, hey, I enjoyed talking to this guy. I should read his book. So I don't have this. I haven't done up the sales numbers for the year yet. So I can't, it feels about the same, but I can't really until I divvy all that up.
Gotcha.
But it's, I'm doing a lot of events. I was really worried because, with inflation and all being what it is right now and the prices of everything going up, I was afraid that, nobody's going to be spending money on books and art, but they are. So it's been good. I enjoy the events. I, move a small amount, because mostly when I'm doing, so like when you're at a big convention, like Dragon Con is a bigger convention.
Right.
I'll see thousands of people. So yes, I'm going to sell more there just because the odds are in my favor because like I said, I'm going to see thousands of people each day. Whereas last weekend I did a library show for an hour and a half. I saw maybe 10 people. So I still sold stuff. It was still worth it, but the event you're at, will determine what kind of sales you're going to have, that kind of stuff. But there's also catching up with people, at last weekend's convention, my table neighbor, I had seen him at shows before, but we had never really chatted at shows before or at library events usually. And we got to talk and he goes, you look so familiar to me. And I was like, well, I know we've been at some of the same events. He goes, that's not it. And so a little into it, I'm talking to someone and I said something and he goes, I know where I know you from. We went to high school together.
Good Lord.
But then once he said that, my brain unclogged and I'm like, wait a minute. And so then we had this nice conversation because we'd gone to high school together. I mean, the same graduating year and everything. So we had some of the same classes and so little things like that. You get to meet new authors. I met this one nice lady who her first book just came out. So it's her first book. So she's new to all this. And so we had a nice conversation. I know some of the others from seeing them at events. And so we caught up. And so there's a lot of that community and networking aspect that goes into it as well. It's just great. As you know, I like to talk. So it gives me people to talk to.
Yeah, is Ryan going to be able to say a few words here before he goes to
sleep?
But anyway,
Ryan, go take a nap. We got this.
Take a 20-hour nap. No. But that's great, and you figure out the sales figures there at time point. I was just wondering how things are going between this year and the last. It's a common thing. But
sure, it is. Like I said, it is going well though. I mean, people are coming to events.
That is good, and they're buying books
and they're buying stuff, and So I mean, there's So I also it's also too even when times are tough,
oh yeah,
people need an escape, and that's
Oh.
kind of what we offer at these things.
I love it.
You know,
Yeah. I mean, I got
books.
200 I got 200 books here that are waiting to be read. So
Yes.
believe me, I got plenty of options to escape to a different universe, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, so coming to these events, you're finding things that might help you with escaping reality for a while, or something that's going to, you can enjoy and just be happy and just kind of set aside your troubles for however long it takes you to read it, or just getting out. I think sometimes just getting out and coming to the events. You're around people who are happy and chatting, and I think that helps. I think it's just there's a community building that goes into doing the events that I love. I've doing this, I've gotten to meet some really wonderful people. I'm sure the same happens with you with doing podcasts. You've gotten to know so many wonderful people that this is the thing that brought you together, this creative, and I love that. I've made wonderful friendships from people that I've met along the way, either doing podcasts or doing events or whatever. It's a wonderful bonus I was not expecting when I started.
Or as the movie title likes to say, "It's a Wonderful Life." Anyway, we're not at the holiday season yet, so let's not jinx ourselves. But
I don't have a bell to ring. Sorry.
Yeah, look, Daddy. Every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings. And that actress is doing conventions as well. That young actor who's now, like, obviously all grown up and in her elderly years, she's doing conventions too. So well done.
Yep. I was at a convention where the last surviving member of the movie To Kill a Mockingbird was there. No. And she's the last surviving member of the cast.
No kidding.
Yeah. So it's unfortunately we're getting to that age, that era where it's like, there's a lot of casts that don't have but one or two people left.
Yeah, Gregory Peck's not here anymore. Yep. Robert Duvall's not here with us anymore. Yep. I think he passed away earlier this year, if I remember, or like last year, whatever it was.
Yeah. I forget her name, but she's the one that played the girl, the main Scout. Yeah.
Scout.
And so it's and that's also another fun thing with doing these cons is people that you wouldn't have ever thought would do cons are coming out, and I'm getting to meet people that were on shows that it's just cool to meet them.
Yeah, I wish you were going to be in Oaks, Pennsylvania here in a couple of weeks, because Nicholas Hammond himself is going to be at the show.
Yep. Nice.
He's going to be signing, and I'm like, dude, that's Bobby's like childhood hero right there.
That's right. He was my Spider-Man for the longest time.
That's what I'm saying. So if you get a last minute plane ticket and want to fly up to Oaks, Pennsylvania, which is near Philadelphia, respectively, on September 12th and 13th, go ahead and say hi to Nicholas Hammond and get your picture taken with him, because he's waiting to meet you.
I have two other events that weekend. I will be at Stone Mountain one day and Valdosta, Georgia the next.
In other words, he's busy, folks. Don't ask. Listen.
Yes, I wish Nicholas Hammond. I wish they would give him like a cameo in one of the Spider-Man movies.
That would be nice. That would be nice.
I don't know if he's the one that says no, or they've not thought to ask him.
Could be a number of factors there. Yeah. The other fun fact about Nicholas Hammond I didn't know is that he tried to date Marsha on the Brady Bunch back in the day. Yeah, he was on. He made appearances. He was the big man on campus in those episodes of Brady Bunch. I'm like, wait a minute, he was on. Are you serious? Yeah, I was like, oh man. So
tried to kill Magnum PI once.
That's another one. Made famous for wearing Hawaiian shirts. We got to give Tom Selleck some credit for that, and winking and smiling at the camera with that mustache of his. Good Lord Almighty, did that drive the women crazy or what? From what I've been told. Sorry, I wasn't there. This was before Magnum PI was long before Ryan's time. But
Magnum was a huge deal when it was new.
I heard about it.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Hawaiian shirts, beautiful scenery, beautiful women, and Tom Selleck winking at the camera at the end of every episode.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, because sometimes we forget that stuff. It's like, oh yeah, this how, especially when shows like that show still has some staying power. But you mentioned Lost earlier, man. When Lost was new,
that was a huge deal.
Everybody talked about Lost. When Lost went off the air,
show.
Yeah. When it went off the air, nobody hardly ever mentions it anymore.
which is kind of sad because
Yeah.
Lost had its fair share of good episodes, especially good seasons. Now, granted, I know this was during the shorter run of it when they started cutting the seasons down to 13 episodes a season with seasons 4 through 6. But season 4, centering on Desmond reuniting with Penny, oh my Lord, that was some of the best acting, writing, whatever. I mean, that to me, yes, it's a show, yes, but when I'm looking at Desmond and I'm looking at Penny, they're real people to me. So when Desmond was on the phone with her, you remember this? Season 4, connecting with her through the timeline, like between him and her, because she was looking for him for years. Right. You know, not Penny's boat, you know. You know, him on the phone with her, I love you, Penny. I just broke down in tears because I'm like, I want this man to be with this woman. I want these two to be together because they deserve each other, because they love it. Like, that's what love is, Forrest. That's what love is. I'm not a smart man, but I know what love is.
But that's also
good.
Yeah, but that's the beauty too of not only the actors. I mean, the actors, because the actors sell that.
Oh, they sell
those actors are so good, they sell it. But also on the writing side, when you write characters,
so good.
Because see, that's part of what it is for me. Is people are always like, how do you know you're writing a good character? When I stop thinking about them as characters and start thinking about them as real people, that's when I know I've kind of got something. Because at that point, I know what they'll do because they're real people, and I would just go, how would they handle this? You know, and that takes a while to get to that point, but once you get there, that helps you a lot. And if your writers are like writing Penny and Desmond so well, that then the actors who have been inhabiting those characters know them so well. You get those two things together, and you get that kind of magic, like what you're talking about in those scenes. And it's a beautiful thing when it happens.
Yeah, man. Henry Ian Cusick and Sonia Walger played Desmond and Penny. And Desmond has the iconic phrase from that show, "I'll see you in another life, brother." I'm like, ooh, okay, that's some heart-wrenching stuff. But yeah, no, so many shows, man. There's just so many shows. I mean, most of them people don't talk about anymore or don't even remember. But the good news is social media, TikTok has a lot of clips of shows that keep them alive. Obviously, the streaming services keep them alive. Us collecting them on physical media keeps them alive. I mean, I know my buddies in Pennsylvania, Luke and Nate, are such massive Magnum PI fans that they bought it. You know, they have it on DVD so they can go back and watch it whenever. It's like, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you know, I got the best of Knight Rider on DVD because I think Knight Rider is an incredible show. It was way ahead of its time. And
they're about
when
to
it aired.
They're about to put the documentary out.
Yes, Knight Rider Declassified. Yes, it's a 5.5-hour documentary with all the cast, all the crew, about the making of the show, the influences of the show, the legacy of the show, and how it still is being talked about. How many, like 40 plus years later since it aired? Which is insanity to me that people are still talking about this show that aired in the early 80s.
And what was considered a kid's show in the 80s.
See, I don't. The funny thing is, and I've seen episodes, so I can say this. I don't think Knight Rider. Yes, it can appeal to the kids. Yes, I don't have an issue with that. But to me, it's not really a kids show. It's
no, it's not. But that was the
people thought of it that way.
Perception.
Yeah, perception.
It's about a talking car. It's a kids show.
Man.
Like it's a comic book. Comic books are for kids. There was that at that era.
At
there
that
was
time,
that perception, and you would get that about a lot of shows. I mean, the A-Team was considered a kids show because Mr. T is always pitying the fool, but
I pitied the fool.
know, they're shooting, they're blowing stuff up, but I mean, they don't kill people. Like only one person I think really gets shot and dies in the entire 5 seasons of the A-Team. But yeah, but it was considered kind of kids stuff at the time. But there's also owning the physical media. Some shows don't survive to streaming. There was a short-lived show that I loved that I have on DVD that has never streamed called 7 Days. I don't know if you're familiar with that one. It's about it was a UPN show. So it was in like the early days of UPN, and it was a time travel show. And they discovered an element in the Roswell crash there was an element that they learned could fuel. They used as fuel for this sphere that could send one person back in time. But because of the fuel's half-life, they could only go back 7 days. And so every episode would start, there would be some kind of disaster or major problem, because the government wasn't going to spend billions to send somebody back for something slight. And so there would be like a pandemic or a nuclear explosion, or someone shoots down Air Force One, or things like that. Those were the kind of things. And so it would happen, and they would go, we got to start the clock and we got to figure out what happened. And then when we're at the point where it's like, we've got to go back now if we're going to stop this, then they would send him back. He would have to stop it. But it was just a fun show. And they played with a lot of the sci-fi tropes. Like there is a Groundhog Day type episode where he just keeps reliving the same day. There's one where he gets split into 2 people, one good and one evil, things like that. But it was just a fun show that has never streamed anywhere. And, I'm thankful I have the DVDs because I love the show.
Physical media strikes again. Once again, this is Freewheeling Friday. Don't forget to like and share. If you have any questions about our taste in film or television, or heck, maybe what we're currently reading, let us know in the comments. Let us know in the chat. Are you reading anything at the moment, or are you just strictly focused on the writing and pumping out all those word-slinging stories?
Right now, I am reading the G.I. Joe Omnibus, Volume 3.
Oh.
And I just finished... What did I just finish? I just finished a novel. What did I finish? I just finished a novel, which I hate to say, I can't remember what it was. So yeah, but I just finished one, and I'm about to start. I have a few right here on my desk. One of these will be the next one. Got a couple of friends of mine have new books out. So one of these will be next. I just haven't decided which one yet.
So many to choose from.
Yes. But I try to read at least a chapter, maybe 2 a day. But I got that G.I. Joe Omnibus, so I'm going through it now. And then, there's always plenty to read. My to be read pile looks a lot like yours.
It's pretty extensive, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, but also becoming a full-time writer does put a crimp in your reading because I'm staring at words all day. And so when I get to rest, I don't want to stare at words more. I still read a little every day, but I read less than I used to. Doesn't stop me from buying books, but I read them slower.
I gotcha. Understandably so. I don't have one of the first book, the book I'm currently reading, one of them anyway. I don't have it here like physically next to me, and I don't have an image of it, but I'm reading the first book in the Body Man series because Eric P. Bishop's going to be my guest this weekend. So this isn't the cover of the current one that I'm reading, but this is the cover of the latest one that just dropped. He released this earlier this week. Book number 4 in the Body Man series is called Downfall. So the Body Man series is about a man who protects the office of the presidency. So it's not about the Secret Service. No. Mm-hmm. This man, simply known as the Body Man, protects the office of the presidency at all costs. Now, what exactly does that entail? What does his position entail exactly? That would be a spoiler. So I don't want to tell you, but because I just found out, I literally and figuratively and literally, there's a word for you, found out what being the Body Man entails in the most recent 2 chapters of the book. The first book, it's simply called The Body Man. That's the name of the first book. And I'm about 40 or so chapters in, a little more than halfway through. And I got to tell you, if you're a fan of stuff like 24 or Taken or The Unit or a little bit of NCIS, this is something you got to read.
It's got that feel to it from the cover.
Yeah, it really. Well, the vibe that I'm getting is like not Black Hawk Down, but 24 definitely.
Yeah.
And then there's a show that just came out recently called Paradise.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love Paradise.
It's got a bit of Paradise. It's got a bit of Paradise vibes to it. It's got, maybe not so much the West Wing, but it's a political thriller like The Terminal List or Reacher. That kind of, maybe not Reacher because that's more like, street vibes, but still, I mean, he still deals with political stuff, but Reacher's not as political thriller-ish as The Terminal List would be.
Right.
So,
right, because the new season of Reacher is on now. And there's a senator who is a big part of it. Sorry, I had a tickle in my throat.
Well, then there you go. There's something to be aware of on streaming services.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the latest one. It's called Downfall. This is book number 4 in the Body Man series. So this guy, Eric P. Bishop, let me tell you something. I may not have had a conversation with him, one-on-one just yet. We're going to have that this weekend. Don't worry, folks. It's coming. Saturday the 22nd, 7 p.m. Eastern time with, and I quote, a special episode of, and I quote, with Eric P. Bishop talking about Downfall. And I'm definitely going to be asking him about some other stuff too, because the first thing I ever read from Eric P. Bishop was a novella, because novellas, as we all know, are shorter than full-length novels. And Bobby, you know this too. It's called Ransom Daughter, and it's about a group called the Omega Group who is attempting to rescue this kidnapped girl from this wealthy guy, or just save the daughter of a wealthy guy. Sorry. But they're basically, it's like a black ops team that doesn't exist, but they're going after they're going after this girl to save her, to get her away from her kidnappers. And let me tell you something about that one, Bobby. That one, and this is something I'm going to tell Eric when I see him too. His books move very quickly. Like this, like if you're reading it, you just want to keep turning those pages, sucker, because you need to find out what happened next. And this is something that I encourage other writers to do too. And I'm going to get your opinion on this too. I like it when writers write books where the chapters are not super long.
Yeah.
And they're not have a lot of meat on them, if you will. Now, Eric P. Bishop's writing, it goes a little something like this. His chapters are only 3 to 4 pages long. That's it. And then immediately goes into the next chapter. So to me, I feel like I'm watching a mini episode of a show that's very compelling, that makes me want to keep turning the page. And this is something I've said, I may or may not have said to you before, Bobby, about your books. Your books move, brother. Like you don't mess around. And the other thing is, I think your chapters are between 5 or 6 pages a chapter.
All right.
So you maybe 7, but you keep it moving so fast that I'm thinking to myself, okay, this guy got caught. How's he going to get out of it? I want to know. Like I have to know now. So it makes me want to turn the page. Like I'm looking at this cover. You and I were talking about this earlier. When I look at this cover and you describe what the plot is about a plane crash, you got to find someone who's missing. He's a prisoner. He's wanted, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, ooh, survival, man against nature. Are you kidding me? I want to read this shiznit. So, and then when you open up the book and you see how short the chapters are, I'm thinking, okay, this guy knows how to move.
Yeah.
So if you're a writer and you write your books with 3 to 4 pages a chapter, maybe 5, I'm not discounting that, Bobby. I prefer writers to do that. Now, my question to you is this. Do you, as a reader or as a writer, do you prefer to piece things together when they're only 4 to 5 pages a chapter, or do you appreciate it when writers actually take the time to build out these stories by making the chapters maybe longer or maybe extending them to a T? What do you feel about how chapters should be written?
I'm kind of like you. I prefer the short chapters. When I write, as a writer, I tend to, a chapter is a scene. We're getting this scene together, and when it ends, the next chapter is another scene. When I first started, because I have no official training when I started, I was looking at the books I was reading, and I was reading a lot of science fiction, and I was reading these, some of them would have 10, 12, 15 page chapters. Excuse me. And my thought was just, I've got to write 10, 15 page chapters. And it was a slog to do. And my writing was poor for it because I was putting stuff in there that was not necessary to reach that number that I had in my head. It wasn't until I took a writing class when somebody's like, you're the writer, that can be as long or as short as you want them to be. And this little bell goes off in my head and I'm like, so yeah, I tend to keep my chapters short like that for, kind of, it's whatever the scene entails, and some are shorter than others. Some are, 5 to 6 is about average for me. Occasionally they're a little shorter, but just depending on what goes into it. And as a reader, I enjoy that as well. Because especially since I don't have like a lot of time to read, but I want to finish a chapter before I stop.
Mm-hmm.
You know, uh, like when I'm in, I can be in bed at night and just like, okay, I've got about a good 10, 15 minutes. Let me read a chapter. That helps, as opposed to trying to get to a point. Can I stop here? You know, because you want to stop. You don't want to stop in the middle of something, or at least I don't. So yeah, so I can kind of figure that out that way. So as a reader and a writer, I prefer shorter chapters.
Yeah.
But then it also depends on what you're writing too.
Yeah, the genre too. Yeah.
But sometimes some of these, when I was looking at some of these sci-fi books I was reading, I realized that they were still doing multiple chapters just within one chapter. Because we would get to the end of a scene, they'd start another scene. I was like, that could be 2 chapters. And so that's kind of where I was like, I can stop here. This can just be a chapter number. And that seems to work better for me. Plus, like you said, I like my stuff to move. So because I'm writing a lot of thrillers and action and adventure type stuff, it needs to move. And if you can read it faster, then it moves faster in your head. You know, so like when you write, there's tricks we can do where, like, if you want to speed up something, short, choppy sentences. So a chase scene would not be these big, long, cumbersome sentences. It would be short, quick, because you can read that faster. And it ramps up your feeling of this is moving faster. You need to slow it down. We have big chunks of text because it's slower to read that. And so you can do stuff like that to kind of help your stories speed up or slow down. And so, yeah, so I prefer a quick, fast read, short chapters. That's just my preference.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Yeah, so we're totally in agreement on that. Yeah, the faster the book moves, the faster I can get it done and I can move on to the next one. And also, if it's really compelling, depending on what the story is, what the characters are doing, and all that kind of jazz, story is just as important as anything else. I'm thinking to myself, oh, this is good. I want to read more. So ever since I started reading Secrets of Westview, which is written by Lindsay Goodpaster, which is a YA book in the vein of the Hunger Games to a certain degree. It's about a young girl named Cameron who's been going to school known as Westview for a long time, but suddenly some of her classmates start disappearing. And she's wondering why that is. And how are they disappearing? Where did they go? Are they coming back? Is something that the administration lying to me? So she's trying to figure out what's going on behind her school's, doors. So that one is a YA. I'm about almost halfway through it. Her chapters are a bit longer. Some of them are like 5. Like sometimes the chapters are like short and then they go into these like 10, 12, 15. But once again, it's her first book. She just got published. It took her 6 years to get this novel out in the world. And congratulations to Lindsay Goodpaster, who's going to be on the Writers' Showcase next weekend.
Nice.
On the 29th. She's going to be one of 5. I usually keep it at 4, Bobby, but so many people are dying to be on the show, so I had to make exceptions. Plus, one or two of them had to be rescheduled from previous appearances they couldn't make. So, Lindsay Goodpaster, I said, "Hey, are you interested?" She's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "You know what? I'll fit you in for August." So she's going to be on. But yeah, what I'm saying is, Secrets of Westview is good. But when I'm reading The Body Man, which the chapter is only 3 or 4 pages long, I'm like, dude, this thing is just coasting from coast to coast, and I'm loving it. And it's to me, it's in the vein of 24. It's like a ticking clock. You got to figure out. Where is, by the way, just to give everyone a really quick synopsis of the first issue of the first installment of the Body Man series, Bobby, the Body Man has gone missing. He has vanished without a trace. And 2 FBI agents are searching for the Body Man. Where did he go? Is he okay? Is he still alive? What secrets is he holding to protect the offices of the presidency? What is he willing to risk, right? And a grizzled FBI, somewhat older FBI agents working with this young probationary agent. So it's like, a difference of generations, clashing with each other and how to investigate the case. Bobby, I'll tell you, the barbs that they throw at each other, it's so good, man. They're talking about movies that she watched when she was a kid. He talks about, oh, you never saw this? No. My dad watched this. So I know what you're talking about, but I don't know what just all I'm trying to say is read The Body Man, written by Eric P. Bishop. It is so good. It's great. That's what I think. Now, granted, I haven't completely finished it yet. I'm sorry, but I'm going to try to read as much of it as I can into tomorrow before I get to the interview between Eric and I, because I want to see if I can finish the book before the interview. Because if I do, I'm going to tell him straight up. I'm going to say, Eric, this book is freaking awesome. I think you're a brilliant writer. I'm going to buy all of them. Like I'm going to, because I already read Ransom Daughter, which was his novella. That was the shortest one he's written in his career thus far. And I finished it in less than 3 days.
Nice. I will have to check those out. Because, and also as we do, the more we do of this, as you said, it's her first book.
It's her first book ever. For
as
it is. Yeah.
As you're working and you do your second book and your third, et cetera,
you get better.
You start learn. Well, you learn things. Ooh, this worked better than this. You know what? Mm-hmm. And you figure that out as you're going. It's like, I did this and I didn't care for that, or how can I make that better? My first novel, I'm too wordy. How do I cut that down? Things like that. How do I break that up? Reading other people's stuff. Ooh, I like the way this author does this. Maybe I can try that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot. Because there are also extremes. You were talking about short chapters. James Patterson sometimes has 2-page chapters that end in the middle of a sentence. Where the character will be like, and I, chapter 3, went out of the room.
Oh, jeez.
And so there's extremes to it all, but you find, you also find what works for your storytelling style, mm-hmm. what works for your voice, what works for your characters and the type of story you're trying to tell. And a lot of times you can only learn that by doing it. You try something, it works, great. If it doesn't work, you're like, okay, it didn't work, we'll try something else. And that goes with style too, not just with story. It's like, ooh, I tried long chapters. I ended up not liking that, so I'll try short chapters. Ooh, that didn't work either, so maybe you find somewhere in the middle. There's no hard and fast rule to what we do. So there's you find what works for you and can mold your stories to fit, your strengths as a writer.
Well, very true. Very true. He's right. See, this is why we pay him the big bucks, folks. On Freewheeling Friday. Don't forget to like and share. If you have any questions, let us know in the comments or the chat. But yeah, I've just been having a blast reading this new author, Lindsay Goodpaster, mind you, her book and experiencing her world. And the fact that it took her 6 years just to get this novel out, and then she says, I did this, that, and the other to get to where I am today. And you learn about this on her social media. She's very good about promoting herself on social media. If you go to L Goodpaster Writes on Instagram, wonderful, wonderful account. She's like, well, the marketing is very, very difficult. And the fact that she's been very consistent with not just promoting the book itself, but promoting herself as a human being and as a writer, it's like, oh, we get a glimpse into who she is and what her process is. And she's saying, hey, I'm working on the next book. Here's what I'm done so far. Here's what I'm putting together or whatever. It's like, okay, she really wants the audience to be involved in this. This is interesting. This is good. I mean, this is what we want to a certain degree. We want to get to know these writers as human beings. So makes perfect sense, right? And then Eric P. Bishop has been doing this for years. So he's like, a beast at this. And by the way, if you look at his website, ericpbishop.com, he just redesigned it recently. It is freaking amazing. I mean, it is just out of this world. So I encourage anybody who's listening to this right now, if you're a fan of political thrillers or military thrillers, because he does have a series with the Omega Group that's a military thriller series, Bobby. The Omega Group, like I pointed out earlier. Go to ericpbishop.com. You're going to like the way you look after visiting that website. I guarantee it.
I am looking at it right now.
Touche. And with that being said, yeah, what was that?
Multitasking.
Yeah, see, very few people can do that. I can't do it, but Bobby can. So we'll give credit where credit is due. My question to you is this. What do you enjoy more? Writing the stories or doing things like these? The bookmarks, the door hangers? Because for someone who's unfamiliar with this aspect of your career, you also like to do artwork, is that right? And you like to do it as bookmarks or door hangers. These are just a little bit of examples of some of the past bookmarks or door hangers you've done. Are you still doing these? And if so, what's your experience been like with it? What has the response been from the audience for these?
People love them. They are also the unexpected side effect is people will see them when they walk by my table at events, and they'll catch a glimpse of a character that they like, and it will stop them in their track, and they'll come back and go, ooh, I love, peanuts. Let me, in there. So it gets people to stop, and I can say, yeah, while they're flipping through it, I can talk about the books. So it's been a nice bonus that way. But I've always loved to draw. That was before I wanted to be a writer, my dream was to draw comic books. And unfortunately, I'm not quite good enough with the storytelling to draw comics, but I can do stuff like what you had on the screen, and so it's fun. But they work different muscles. The creativity to write and tell stories uses a different creative muscle than the artwork. This is kind of my pitch at shows. I spend my day murdering people in books, and at night I draw cutesy cartoon characters to get the murder out of my head. So I find the artwork more relaxing. Writing is not relaxing. I enjoy it, but I'm not relaxed. You're kind of laser focused, and you're in it. There's a lot of emotions of your characters going through your head. So yeah, it is not like just, oh, I'm having a great time, just blah, 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 it's not as relaxing. When I do the artwork, I'm on the couch, I've got the lap desk, the TV's on. No TV when you're writing. That doesn't work. I listen to music, but no TV. But I'll turn the TV on. I'll put on something I've seen before. Currently, I'm going through Stargate SG-1. I've seen them, so I don't have to pay as close attention. And so I'll let a couple episodes play, and I'm on my lap test drawing. I usually do 5 or 6 a night. They take me about 30 to 40 minutes a piece to do the bookmarks. And so I do those, and it kind of relaxes me. And so when I finish that, I'll watch a little TV. Like I said, sometimes I'll record or go to streaming for the new stuff, and I'll watch it like the hour or so before I go to bed. And then I can go to bed not thinking about which characters I need to kill or, that kind of stuff. And so they work different muscles. So there's a different enjoyment for each one. If I had to choose one, I would stick with writing. Although you talked earlier about sales and stuff, there are a lot of shows and events where I sell more art than I do books, so it all evens out.
Well, that's cool. But yeah, no, I have tons and tons of your bookmarks, and they're so much fun to look at. But they're also fun to use because Lord knows. Mm-hmm. How many books am I currently reading? I'm reading like 7 or 8 books back here. So I have a bookmark for each and every single one. If not, I have metal bookmarks that I've gotten from other writers, who've made or created metal bookmarks. I think are fantastic. Mm-hmm. But the paper ones are just as good. Yeah, and yours have really good designs on them.
Thank you. Yeah, because I do the art ones, the original art, and that's original art. I mean, they're not printed. I draw it and it on there. But like when Nowhere to Run for the Kickstarter, I made bookmarks that we printed for the book. There are Nowhere to Run bookmarks. So doing that kind of stuff's fun. I also enjoy when I do events, and a lot of cons will have free sketchbooks for the kids, or when I do free comic book day, I'll sketch for people for free and that kind of stuff. Or I do stuff for charity auctions. I just drew an image the other night that's going to be for the Dragon Con charity auction. So I do a few of those a year for different events I'm at. But it's just fun. I just enjoy the artwork. I enjoy doing it, and I'm just glad that people enjoy it as well. It was never intended to be part of the business like it's become. I started out just because I enjoy doing it. When people order stuff from my store, I would draw on the envelope. That's kind of how it started. And the bookmarks came about because I just found in a art supply store a packet of 50 blank bookmarks. And I was like, this will be fun. This will keep me occupied for a week or two. And then I'll get over it, and I'll have gotten it out of my system. I'll go back to whatever. And then I took a photo of them that first night and put them up on social media, and somebody goes, "Are those for sale?" Yes, they are. I have now done about 2,500 bookmarks. So yes, about 2.5 years now, I guess. Yeah. So fun. Doing about so at this rate, I'm doing about 1,000 a year.
Gee willikers, man.
Yes, and they're all drawn by hand. Takes me about 30 to 40 minutes to do them. But like I said, I'm doing it. I'm piddling on TV, and I'm just gonna winding down my day and relaxing and things like that. So they're fun.
Well,
They are
cool.
fun. I enjoy doing them.
Well, that's cool. I mean, hey, anything to help us get us through the grind, huh?
Yeah. It's just
the day. Yeah,
it's
which,
relaxing.
by the way, yeah, you tossed in a Jaws bookmark for the Kickstarter for me. Yeah, I figured that was coming. It's like, well, you and I have talked about Jaws so many times. It's like it's only a matter of time before I get a bookmark that's got a giant shark. But by the way, it doesn't even says bookmark, and I'm like, is that your way of saying dun, 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 dun?
Did I do? Didn't I? I know I did it for one of them. Was it yours? I had to put it on the envelope as well, on the outside of the box.
But you gave me a Jaws bookmark, and I think you also you did what was it that does not bend? I think it was Batman. It was either Batman or Jaws.
Yeah, I know I did a Jaws one for somebody, but I can't remember who I did.
It was probably me. It was probably me.
But it was, because a lot of times when I do these things, if I know the person, I try to tailor it,
which is funny,
to that person. I don't always know the person that's buying something, and so in that case, it's there are standbys that always work. But there's also this unexpected bonus of the ladies at the post office love them. When I come in, like I thought they'd hate it because every one of them's saying, "Hey, post office, don't tear this shit up."
Do not, or it says Doctor Strange does not bend, or Spock does not bend.
Yeah, do not bend this. But I'll bring them in, and they'll call the people from the back, and they'll all come out and look, and oh, that's cool. What did you know? And so that's been an unexpected bonus of just how much fun they have, and it's fun. I enjoy doing it.
Yeah, it's great. The door hanger that says "On Air, Go Away," the one you made for me with the Muppet newscaster. This is a Muppet News Flash. That's still hanging on the back of my door, brother.
Nice,
to tell people to go away because I'm busy right now, and don't come back either. So that one is still there. The bookmarks I have of yours are still here, so they're not going anywhere. I mean, like I said, I may be in the process of reading 7 to 8 books right now. Some of them are on my couch, right? That's where I read, and then 2 of them I think are on my bookshelf. And I'm just thinking to myself, yeah, I really dug myself a hole here. But it's going to be fun to get through those stories whenever I eventually get around to finishing them. Hopefully, like I said, once again, I hope to get my short stories out by the end of the year and put an anthology of 5 to 6 short stories, which are, by the way, going to be set in different genres, and they're not interconnected or anything. They're all standalones, and they're going to be between 1,000 to 5,000 words each. So they're going to be. I don't think 1,000 is going to be. I think the lowest one I'm going to have is probably 2,500, maybe 3,000 words. But like I said, that's the plan. But as we all know, Bobby, as you stated, plans tend to change.
They do indeed.
So you say you're going to do something one day, and then the next day you're like, oh, wait, I got 50 other things I got to do before I get to this part. So maybe
and also
push this
sometimes
off.
Your characters take over.
Yeah.
You plan to do a short story and it turns into a novel because the character won't let you stop,
Depends on who my character is. Yeah. When I'm writing these stories, and if one of my characters just takes off, what do you call it, like a runaway train there, Bobby, I'll text you and be like, Bobby, what'd you do to me? This was supposed to be 5,000 words, and now it's going to turn out to be 15 to 20 grand.
Yeah, because people are always like, oh, well, you're the writer. Make them do what you want. I was like, that's not really how this works. No, it's like my characters are doing something. I just write it down.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of watch, But also, again, that going back to knowing your characters and trusting your characters, some of the best surprises happened when I'm writing their dialogue and listening to the characters speak, and they will say something that surprises me. And that only works because I know them and I just kind of channel them, which I know makes me sound crazy, but it's how it works. And so I get these wonderful surprises from that often. The character will do something that surprises me. Now, obviously, in the back of my mind, it's there somewhere. But, I mean, I am surprised by some of the things my characters do. And usually for the better, Yes, I've had... there's one book that ends with a character being found dead who was supposed to appear in 3 other books, which changed the course of the series, but for the better, because the person that stepped in to take that character's place was a better villain than the villain we found dead. So those type of things happen, and they're not always planned. Sometimes they come out of the moment.
And sometimes things happen when you least expect them. That's the truth, which happens a lot. So, bit of a, I wouldn't say left field, but a bit of a question I'm just dying to ask. So the two gentlemen behind you, Tom Myers, this and Abraham Snow, that. When are we going to get the next installments of both Abraham Snow and Tom Myers?
Tom Myers will be out very soon. I am in the edits, rewrites now of book 4, which is called Sweet Nothings, which is also, in addition to being another chapter in the Sheriff Myers series, is also a sequel to Evil Ways, because characters from Evil Ways appear in this new story. Now, you don't have to have read Evil Ways to understand what's going on. I fill you in on what you need to know. But yes, that is in edits now. The cover is completed. Once edits are done, the plan is either late September or early October, unless something, trips me up. Because Dante's Express will be out on Halloween Day, and you don't want to release books too close together.
Yes.
And so if I can get it done early September, I can get it out sometime early September or late September or early October. Sorry. So that's the next Sheriff Myers. I have also actually started writing the book after that already, because ideas hit me and I went ahead and wrote them down. But currently, the 9th book in the Snow series, which is called Snowbird, I am writing and releasing a chapter a week on Patreon. I think I've released 4 so far. So that is working now to come out early next year. So yes, so those are happening. And I've also got a plan for book 10, which would be Snow would move from doing novellas to novels. Just because novellas aren't selling quite as well as they were, primarily because Amazon raised prices and paper costs have gone up. So the novellas are no longer a cheap enough option as they were. So book 10 of Snow will be a novel called Snow Trouble, which I think this may be the first time I've said that publicly. So Snow Trouble. I've written a few notes and things in one chapter. I dreamt one of the chapters, so I got it and wrote it down in like 3 a.m. And so, yeah, so those 2 are in production now. And then there's a couple of other things happening. I've got another thriller I'm planning to release next year. It'll be a new character that I'm working on around other deadlines. So there's not a hard deadline on it. I just work on it around other things. So hopefully that will do well. And I'm probably going to do it like I did Nowhere to Run. It'll be a Kickstarter pre-order and all that stuff. So.
For you said you're going to do a Kickstarter for the new what is it? Snow? I'm sorry.
No. The novellas will come out just like they normally do.
Oh, okay.
Maybe when it goes to novels, I will.
Okay.
So, but the new book that I'm working on for next year is called, unless I change it, it may change, but right now it's called A Study in Silver. And it is a thriller, and with a new character. It's in the same universe because there are some of the secondary characters that run through my stuff. A couple of them are in it. But it's a new main character. The idea hit me and I was like, oh, that's a cool idea. And I jotted a note. I said, I'll put that aside. But the character keeps talking to me. So every time the main character talks to me, I start writing notes and then a chapter. And so I've started it, but it's around deadlines. So it's a little here, a little there, because the stuff that's got to get done first has to get done first.
Gotcha. Wow. So Snow is going to switch it up from novellas to novels here pretty soon.
And yeah, and that will probably happen with Sheriff Myers after we get through book 6, because every 3 gets collected.
Right. Yeah. Every 3 gets.
And so,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
because right now, Snow is at 8, I want to say?
Yes, yes. I'm writing 9 now.
All right, and 9 is Snowbird, isn't it?
Yes, and so then they'll get collected.
Well, you know how I feel about that. I'll have to get myself a copy.
Yeah, and so then at that point, after that, they'll be just be novel size. So they'll still be the same size as the collected.
Right.
It'll just be bigger stories, or
Hey, listen. You want to make this sucker from 175 to 300 or 350, whatever it is, pages. I'm talking about pages.
Yeah.
If you want to make it that long as you keep your chapters, short, sweet, and moving like grooving. Trust me when I tell you, I will read a 350 page, because normally my limit personally is between 250 to 300 pages a book.
Yeah.
But if you make it longer than that, there are very few authors that will make exceptions.
That's
to the
usually
rule.
around. It's usually in the 280 to 300.
That's what I'm saying. If you make this 3 or even 350, hypothetically, if it's 3 or 350 or even 320 for argument's sake, 315, ballpark it. If you make it that long, I will proudly make an exception to my rule, because Snow is without it. I mean, listen, the Body Man is really, really good so far, and Snow is going to be my number 1, but
awesome. Thank you.
But the Body Man is like right there nipping at Snow's heels. But I'm not saying he's going to take over for Snow. He's not, because I've only read the first book, and the Body Man, as I just told you, is 4 books in the series. I want to read all 4 of them so I get an idea of what we're dealing with here. 1 book is great, don't get me wrong, but you got to read more to find out more about these characters, where the story's going, what his goal is, whatever it is. I'm just speaking, in general, in a general sense of the word. But the Body Man, dude, that may be my second favorite series of the business. Because
I will have to check out a copy.
Snow is the cream of the crop.
Thank you.
All right, and then
Snow has been a wonderful.
I love it.
Surprise for me.
Every minute of it, I love it.
Yeah, I'm just thrilled by how many people have loved the characters. And as much as they love Snow, they love Archer, his grandfather, even more. Like most of the fan mail I get about the Snow book talks about Archer in some form or fashion. Yes, for a while there, after the first book, I got a lot of like, oh, don't let anything happen to Archer. If Archer dies, we riot, that kind of thing. So, of course, the very next book, I put Archer in like deadly danger like 8 times because I'm cruel. But yeah, but it's probably the better selling thing I've done. The Snow books, although Sheriff Myers is catching up, but Snow still seems to be the thing that I've done that's the biggest, impact at one time. And it's one of those things that like I came up with the concept. It was like one of those things where a publisher said, I need a pitch for a book. And I was like, and that's what came out. So yes, it was that quick. It was, we always have little scenes and ideas in the back of your head. And Snow came about because I was asked, hey, I need a pitch and I need it right now. And mentally I grabbed like 3 things from that idea box and slammed them into a blender, and out pops Snow. So, and
it's fresh Snow that's coming here pretty soon with Snow. What is it called? Snowbird.
Snowbird.
Yes,
there's
the word. So
because Snow, we've often said Snow is like the love letter to those cop and PI shows.
Magnum PI, Rockford Files. Yeah.
Right. So I'm playing with Snowbird. It's kind of like my homage to how many of those shows had like they all had the special car. So there's an Airwolf or a Blue Thunder or a Knight Rider. There's a super vehicle in this one that they have to deal with. So yeah.
Well, man, here's the thing. Let me rephrase this. So Snow is like my number 1. Tom Myers is right behind him. At the time, it was number 2. But the Body Man is creeping up there, man. Listen, that's no slight against Bobby Nash as a writer human. It's just a great thing to be a reader out there. That's the nature of the business. So
it's good that I am excited anytime somebody has found a book they're reading that they're excited about.
Oh, I'm jacked up about the Body Man, dude. I'm like 40 plus chapters in. I'm like 245 pages into this 384 page book, and I'm telling you, It moves. It's got surprises. When I found out what the Body Man actually does and what his job entails, because you think it's one thing, but it turns out to be something completely different. I'm like,
Right.
oh shit, that's what this guy does. And if something goes that, like, he's able to do that, like he has the authority to like do stuff that you normally wouldn't have the authority to do. Are you out of your Vulcan mind? You know, like, no, seriously. I mean, when I read that chapter that explored this character and what he truly does for a living as the Body Man, I thought,
and that's what we is.
Yeah.
And like I said, not even our own books, but that's what we like to see is a reader getting excited about something.
It makes your jaw drop.
And it makes you want to go read it. Like I've bookmarked it while we were sitting here.
And you looked at his website, which
I'm
glad that you did. EricPBishop.com, I believe, is the name of the website. So
yes, it's exciting to see readers excited about something. And I'm gonna share this with Eric when we see him tomorrow. And I hope you're able to tune into the episode. If you can't, you can always watch the replay. I encourage you to do it. I'm gonna look at Eric and say, you know what? Before we even start the show, I'm gonna say this. The following takes place between 12 p.m. and 1. I can't, because his books have this 24 vibe so hard. I'm like, you know what, Eric? I don't know how you feel about this, but I'm just going to say it before I even play the intro to the show itself. I'm going to say this to the camera. The following takes place between 12 p.m. and 1 p.m. or maybe 1:30 p.m. Events occur in real time. You got to make sure you're working a damn it or two.
Well, we are allowed to curse. I try to keep my shows as family friendly as possible. Yeah. You know that. But Eric and I, we can curse. It doesn't matter. I'll probably say, damn it, Chloe. Dude, here's the thing. And then we got to I just got a note from my producers that we got to wrap this up here. But I will say this. 24 Live Another Day came out a couple years ago, and I watched it. Did you watch 24 Live Another Day, the miniseries that was on? It was like a season 9, basically. Okay, so that ends in a cliffhanger, and that ticked me off because he gets, taken by the Russians because of what he did, blah, blah, blah. I want to see somebody rescue him and get Jack back, and I want to see him do just one more ride. I want to see one more ride for Jack Bauer, just one more shot. Because I want to see him get closure. I want to see Kim Bauer get closure. I want to see Chloe get some closure between her and her ex-husband. Like, I want to see that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I know Kiefer Sutherland has said they have
an idea.
They've tried to get it going a couple times, and something always gets in the way. But yeah, I would like to see that as well. I think he is.
One more.
Yeah.
I want to see Jack Bauer. And here's another thing for you too. If we see Bauer with a fully grown beard to show how much he's been through and like grizzled, like he's hardened after all these years, because Kiefer Sutherland isn't as young as he once was 30 years ago when the show started. Sorry. It happens. I'd like to see Jack Bauer with a beard. I want to see him with a bit like just getting out and like trying to figure stuff out and just go for it one more time.
I just watched a movie last night on Hulu where it's called Brothers Under Fire. It's not a great movie.
It showed up on my Hulu list. It showed up on my recommendations list. Is it any good?
It was okay, but he is the grizzled. He is the grizzled army captain and
he has a beard in that movie too.
So the action stuff is good, but it drags a little to me. But I enjoyed the action bits, and he is of course fantastic in it. He can still run around, jump and shoot and all that stuff. So
I think he's got one more season of 24, and honestly, I want to. And honestly, now that I'm reading this book series and I'm starting to get into it, and also the Omega Group series, which is a spinoff of the Body Man to a certain degree, that's good too. So I'm getting like a lot of 24 versus Taken vibes here, and I love it.
Yeah. Well, I also think too it would be cool. It would be cool to see kind of Jack Bauer have his Unforgiven type movie where it's him older.
Yes, he's grizzled.
He is
he's
older,
bruised.
and
he's
that's
tired.
like his Logan,
exactly, old man Logan. Like he's burned out. He doesn't want anything to do with it. But the mission, one more time, that ticking clock is calling him back just one more time. Maybe Kim gets into a jam. I don't know. His daughter Kim, his daughter Kim's all grown up with with the kid, and he's a grandpa and all that stuff. Because we got hints of that in season 8. Yeah. So anyway. So many conspiracy theories, it's insane.
No, I would be there for it if they did it more 24. I even watched the other one they did with the new guy.
Yeah, 24 Legacy with Corey Hawkins. Yeah.
And I enjoyed it as well. It was different.
It was different,
Yeah,
and it was
yeah.
weird not having Jack there, but it
Yeah.
was still good. I mean, it wasn't great, but it was it was good. It was a good attempt at continuing the show. It was basically the Bourne legacy.
Yeah.
You know, it was basically Bourne and I don't have a problem. Listen, I'm one of the few people who's willing to say this on national television. I love the Bourne legacy. I know it has nothing to do with Matt Damon, but it's still connected to the same universe.
Right.
And I think that's great because you're exploring Treadstone and what it actually did to people, and it manipulated people into becoming soldiers for no cause. So I like that kind of stuff. So give us one more season. Just give me the ticking clock. I want to hear the following takes place between so-and-so and so-and-so. Events occur in real time. I want to hear it one more time. And I think Bobby wants to hear it one more time. With that being said, with that clock ticking, speaking of ticking clocks, ladies and gentlemen, I want to take this opportunity to say, and Bobby, I just figured this out before, some of the things we were talking about, I was multitasking too. So the first episode that I hosted of Freewheeling Fridays was on December 13th of 2024. And my first guest was the gentleman who is sitting before us right now. So
I did not realize that.
I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to Pops Van Zant. Thank you to everybody at the Madison Entertainment Group for inviting me into your homes each week. I want to say thank you to, once again, Pops, for bringing me into this crazy three-ring circus of yours and having me host this show on a weekly, and then it became bi-weekly basis. And I started this, for me anyway, in December of 2024, and I think it's full circle that we end with Bobby Nash as the first and last guest during my tenure as the host and producer of Freewheeling Fridays. Bobby, I want to say thank you for being here. I want to say thank you for being a good person, being a good friend, a mentor, a wise sage, a Yoda to my Luke Skywalker.
Sorry, people that know me are dying laughing now.
What's another metaphor here? A Mr. Miyagi to my Daniel LaRusso here. Remember, wax on, wax off. Remember to breathe. Very important. Remember to breathe. We got so many references on the brain. It's insane. But this has been fun. Show me paint the fence. Show me side to side. Show me sand the floor. Show me sand the floor, Bobby. No, but honestly, this has been a great run. Whoever takes over for this show, I wish you nothing but success. And don't worry, I'm going to be around the madness, and reruns of And I Quote are going to drop on pill.net, which is another streaming service that we use to broadcast our programming. So definitely be sure to check the meg.tv out. And we're also on Roku, Bobby. I don't know if you knew this or not, but episodes of Freewheeling Fridays and some of the other programmings on the Madness are available on Roku. So if you have a Roku box or a Roku Smart TV, just tap in Madness Entertainment Group on your search bar or search box. And Bobby, you can stream this episode anytime you want.
You can see us in big screen.
Biggest in a big screen. Yeah, and Bobby, feel free to stream some of the past episodes of Freewheeling Fridays, because we've had some of your maybe either close friends or just new people that you're going to be introduced to throughout that series. But this has been a great run. Once again, just thank you. Appreciate all of you, everyone who's been a guest on this show, everybody who's given me the opportunity to come in here, share my love of pop culture and movies and television shows and books and comic books. Yes, I know I don't talk about them an awful lot because I haven't read a lot of comic books lately. I'm sorry, Bobby. But I do like comic books, and I still enjoy them. So, yeah. But, Bobby, if someone wants to know more about you and the incredible things you're doing in life, such as your writing and your artwork, by the way, where can they follow you on social media to keep up to date with everything? And, by the way, when Snowbird and Tom Meyer's Sweet Nothings comes out, send me a copy. By the way, my birthday comes up at the end of September, so Sweet Nothings comes out at that point. I know what I want for my birthday, and that's a brand new mystery starring Tom Myers. But anyway, where can people follow you again?
BobbyNash.com is the website. It's right there. There's links to everything, all my social medias and all. So I'm on most of them. I'm not hard to find. Track me down. Say hello. Tell me where you saw me. And then
that sounds about right. Sorry, I thought you were going to go on longer.
So I'm trying to keep it concise. I don't want to irritate Pops, who's sitting there looking at his watch going,
when are these guys going to get off the air? No,
I do want to just say thank you for having me. I didn't realize I was your first guest on this, so
I did.
That was awesome. So
I did some extensive research. I took over for the show in late November, early December, and the first guest I had on that show when I started my tenure was you, and I think it's fitting that we end it with you. So how about that?
Well, I'm honored.
We've come full circle, and Yeah, man. What
Well,
a
I'm
ride.
honored. Well, thank you so much because I've done a number of these shows with you, and I always have a good time. And I'm excited to see. I know you're writing more, so I'm curious, excited to see where the writing takes you. And
Thank you.
thanks for
Yeah.
having me along for the ride.
Yeah, it's been fun, man. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to seeing where my writing journey goes because, like I said, I'm very new to this thing. I'm very green. So I don't know where this is going to go in 10, 15, 20,000 years.
But you know, that's half the fun. You're going on an adventure.
In the words of Bilbo Baggins, I'm going on an adventure.
Yeah.
And then Gandalf was looking at Bobby and I saying, I'm looking for someone to share an adventure with. And I'm like, well, where are we going to go with this? Yeah. And then Pop says, Ryan will still be around. I'm sure we will see Bobby on other shows too. Yeah. Bobby, if you ever want to come back to any of the other shows that are involved in madness, I mean, you know.
It's like what Deadpool said about Wolverine. You'll be doing this till you're 90.
Yeah, I'll be 90 in quite some time. But anyway, if anyone wants to get to know me better or want to, join in on the craziness that ensues with me, follow me across all forms of social media. Good God, I'm doing this horribly. How do I do an intro, Pops? How does that work? Follow me across all forms of social media at @AndiQuote Channel. I want to give Bobby and you who are watching and listening to this right now a heads up. AndiQuote is on Saturdays, 12 p.m. Eastern time. This week on Saturday, the 22nd, we're going to be doing a 7 p.m. episode with Eric P. Bishop, as you brought up earlier, who writes political and military thrillers, which are in the vein of 20 which, Bobby, you got to read this stuff, man. And then movie watch-alongs are on Friday night, 7 o'clock Eastern time. Remember, that's Eastern time, folks. I'm not going to name all 30 time zones because I don't have that kind of time like Jack Bauer does. But, yeah, we're going to be rounding out the month of August with 25 years of The Mummy Returns, and then we're going to kick off September with 45 years of Raiders of the Lost Ark. That's kind of a big deal for Bobby. You grew up with that one. I know, not to make you feel any younger.
Yeah.
And then we're going to celebrate 15 years of Rise of the Planet of the Apes, the first chapter of the rebooted version of the Apes franchise. And then I think we're going to end it with this with the 20th anniversary of Rocky Balboa, also known as Rocky VI. Rocky VI. Yeah, Rocky Balboa turns 20 this year, Bobby. I don't know if you knew that or not. But, yeah, we got some great stuff coming. And once again, this has been a ride. And I wish everybody here at the Madness Entertainment Group the best of luck in the future. And like Superman says, I'm always around. Do not forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, ring the bell to be notified when the videos go up or they go live. And once again, thank you so much for inviting me and my guests into your homes every other week, or every week as we started out at the beginning on Freewheeling Fridays. It's been a joy. It's been a pleasure. And I'm gonna top this off with a quote from a famous newscaster that, Bobby, you may be familiar with. I don't know. But once again, thank you for inviting us into your homes. And I'll say this for the record, Bobby. Good night and good luck.
If you missed the live viewing of any Meg production, you can find all our content on Roku or as a member of this channel. Madness Entertainment Group.